Good morning, everybody. This is attorney Marjorie Brunelli, and today I have another guest. So today I have Gabriela Castillo. She's a personal injury attorney, and we're going to talk a little bit about accidents, what you do when you get in a car accident. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. Go ahead, Gabriela.
Hi, good morning, Marjorie. Thank you for having me on. My name is Gabriela Castillo. I started doing personal injury as a paralegal when I started law school, so I've been doing it since 2011. So I guess we could start off with some tips because I know accidents tend to be traumatic for people, so they might not know what to do, and especially when it's your first time being involved in an accident. So I would start off with my first suggestion is always call 911.
911.
Even I always get asked, what if I'm not injured? I would always call 911 to document the property damage. I know
okay, so just calling the police department is not enough because I've never been in an accident, knock on wood. So I don't really know. I mean, I think I had a small little, somebody touched the back of my car. This was like many years ago. And I just called the police department. The cop came over and did a police report, but I didn't have any damage to my car or myself, but the car behind me, because I had an SUV, so the car behind me got pretty good amount of damage. But so you suggest even if it's not serious, you always call 911?
I would suggest it, yes, definitely, at least for the property damage, because insurances are going to be involved. I have sometimes people call that they're going to fix it, between the drivers.
Right.
I would suggest you still call 911 and get the document. Get it documented that the accident happened. You don't have to report it to your insurance company if you're going to work it out amongst you, but at least you have proof that the accident happened and whose fault it is.
So that's always get a police report. Always get the police report.
Yes, because that's your proof. Because what if, you are believing this person, you're going to work it out, and then what if they disappear? They don't take your phone calls.
And then they file a lawsuit against you or something like that.
And what is your proof? It's going to be your word versus theirs. Whereas here, you would at least have an official document stating the accident occurred and what the facts were. And I would also recommend pictures. Because sometimes, we're human. Sometimes the officer makes a mistake. And at least with your pictures, you can back up either where the vehicles were, kind of get a picture of what happened, and it can also show the impact of the damage on your car,
Okay. What about a video? Maybe take some pictures and then do a quick video just to show where the cars are located, the street.
That's a good idea too. Yeah, that's a good idea. Document as much as you can.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So, okay. What other tips would you recommend?
Okay, so if you are, I would recommend you get checked out by a medical professional. Even if you're not sure if you're hurt or not, you're like, oh, because sometimes you'll feel it later because of the impact. I think they say, our bodies tense up, we get stressed out, and like a couple days later, you'll start feeling it. So I would recommend just get evaluated. You don't have to treat
the whiplash. I think they call it a whiplash effect.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not. I don't know anything about PI, so that's why we have you here.
Okay. Yeah. The whiplash is with your neck, like the force of going forth and backward. So I would say just get evaluated. You don't have to treat, but just make sure you're okay. Because sometimes, you'll see it later. And the reason I recommend the evaluation is because under Florida, you only have 14 days after the accident, 14 days to seek treatment. If you don't treat within those 14 days, your medical bills will not be covered.
Oh, okay. So that's important. So you have 14 days to seek treatment. So don't sit around and wait too long. And what kind of doctors? Should the person seek attention? Can it be a chiropractor, or does it have to be a medical professional, like a orthopedic surgeon?
No, typically it's a chiropractor. Okay. But if you just want like an evaluation, you could go to an urgent care, depending on how severe your injuries are, the ER, and that counts towards you having sought treatment within the 14 days.
Okay.
Now, if
So
you
any
really,
medical professional. Okay.
well, not your primary, because I
No,
believe
right.
your
Yeah.
primary won't see you because it's an accident.
Right.
And when it's an accident, it's not your health insurance that's responsible, it's your car insurance that's responsible for paying the medical bills.
Okay. And what if the person doesn't have car insurance? The person that caused the accident.
Then you have trouble. Well,
Oh, yeah.
well, it depends though. So in Florida, we're a no-fault state.
Right.
So what that means is that even if you're in a car accident and it's not your fault, you are responsible. Your own car insurance is responsible for your medical bills under personal injury protection. So that's your PIP.
Mhm.
So regardless of whose fault it is, you will at least have your medical bills covered by your own car insurance. Now,
Okay.
if the person is not insured, the one that hit you, what you're going to have trouble with is seeing how to repair your vehicle, because you
Mhm.
have to see if you have that on your policy to repair your own vehicle, and
Mhm.
you won't be able to go after for your personal injury because you're going to have bills.
Right.
So your PIP pays up to $10,000, but it
Mhm.
only pays 80% of your bills. 20% of your bills is still going to be outstanding. So that's why you go after the at-fault driver. You want to
Okay.
recover what's still due.
But if they don't have insurance, then it gets complicated.
Right, because there's really nothing you can do at
Mhm.
that point.
Is that the part of the insurance that's uninsured
Yes,
protection?
correct.
Okay.
So what you could do is, but this would have to be on your own policy, something
Right.
that you have to add to pay. It's called It stands for underinsured. Sorry,
And
sorry.
uninsured. It's okay.
No, it's both. It's underinsured and uninsured.
Oh, okay.
Underinsured is because they might not have enough insurance to cover your bills.
Mhm.
Most people only cover $10,000. But if you're in
Oh,
a serious accident and your medical bills are through the roof,
right.
you're going to use your own for underinsured because they don't have
Okay.
enough. Now,
Right.
if they have none, that's when you do the uninsured.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay. So
it's
it's
one policy, but it'll cover you both ways.
mhm. Yeah, so you really need to pay attention to what kind of insurance you're carrying and if it's
Yes.
protecting yourself, your property, and also in cases where the other side doesn't have insurance.
Yeah.
So it's like additional things that people should consider when getting car insurance, just in case, better safe
You
than sorry.
you especially want to check out your coverage depending on the assets you own. Because if you're
Okay.
not carrying enough, for instance, most people carry only $10,000. So it's a
Very
10-10
low.
policy.
Yeah, that's very low. Yeah,
Right. So if you have your home, usually you have the homestead protection
right.
on your home. But if you own a second property, your second property could be on the hook if you're only carrying 10,000 and you
Right.
cause a major accident. So you have to really make sure you have proper insurance to cover
Right.
you.
And one thing, this is totally unrelated to PI, is just the camera. Like I'm still trying to figure out where to look because I'm looking at the computer screen. So it looks like I'm not looking at the camera. The camera is right here. But if I
Right.
look at the camera, I can't see you. And I prefer
And
to
I'm
look at
looking
you.
at you, not the camera. So I
Right.
don't know.
So people don't, like, we're paying attention. We're talking to each other. We're just looking at each other, not at the camera. So
Yes.
just to clarify that. So what other tips do you have that you think it's important for people to know?
See, I think we kind of covered, I think the most important is just documenting
Right.
your accident for
Mhm.
property and then for yourself.
Okay.
And I think the most important is the 14 days.
Mhm.
You could still
Right.
treat after the 14 days and
Right.
have a case. The problem is that your medical bills won't be covered after those 14 days. And
Okay.
the at-fault carrier gets to offset those $10,000.
Okay.
So you're
So
just hurting your.
right. So then it's I guess keep in mind first, make sure you call 911. Then make sure, obviously, if you're not injured to the level that you cannot document things, because you're not going to be trying to walk around if you have a broken leg, for
Right.
example. Just make sure if you cannot do it, have somebody else that may be with you do it. Take pictures, maybe do a video recording of the cars and area where the accident happened, and then make sure to seek immediate treatment.
Yes, or at least document, you know.
Right. Anything else that you want to add that you think would be interesting?
I think it would also just be focus on your own insurance policy. Because like we said, besides the uninsured and underinsured, just make sure you're on top of it. I've had instances where I guess people don't pay attention, but when you move, you have to inform your insurance company because the rates go by where you live.
By zip code.
And if you don't inform them that you've moved or that you live who you live with, you know, that they can, when they find out, they can cancel your policy. So you think you have insurance, and then the moment you need it, it's gone.
So just because you move, they can cancel your policy?
If you don't inform them with enough time, I think it depends on the insurance company, whether they'll give you 15 or maybe 30 days. Right. But if you go from one home to another and you change maybe zip codes or however it is that they determine your premium, they can use that as failure to inform them and they can cancel your policy.
Oh, wow.
You won't
then
have
you get
coverage.
in an accident and you don't have insurance, even though you think you have insurance.
And then you have nothing.
Oh, wow.
And you didn't even know. And that also applies for who lives in your household.
Okay.
Or where you're residing.
Yeah,
so
I was going to ask you about that. So, for example, if you're married and both you and your spouse drive, I mean, obviously each one of you has your own car, but you should probably add your spouse or whoever else is driving your car to your policy as well, correct?
Right. Well, typically with households, they tend to be on the same policy. Okay. But if they aren't, like in your scenario, you would at least have to list your spouse as residing in your home, even if they have their own insurance.
Okay.
Just so that your insurance is clear.
Okay. So even if it's not your spouse, maybe you have a sibling, you have a parent,
right?
Just make sure you have them listed as well.
Yeah. Let's say your sibling's going to move in with you. You have to kind of inform, hey, this person, they don't have to, it's not that they're going to drive, but that they live with you. Because sometimes they check, and based on that, I've had them cancel.
Oh, wow. So
they don't always
strict. Yeah, I
don't always check. This isn't typical. It doesn't happen to everybody, but I had it happen to one client. He was actually renting a room in a home. So he did not list the homeowner and her 2 children on his policy as non-drivers. It's not that they were even going to drive. They could be listed just household members, non-drivers. He didn't do that. He didn't know he had to. And when they took his recorded statement, they're like, you live at this address. The computer shows that so do these people. And he was like, yeah, I rent. Well, they were like, well, you failed to list, and they canceled. That's grounds enough for them to cancel. He didn't have insurance.
Oh my God, I never heard of that. I had no idea.
I've just had it happen to one client, but it happens.
But it can happen. That's okay. So better safe than sorry. Just make sure that you list whoever. If you're renting and there are other people in that same property, make sure. I mean, you just list it. Right, and then just call your insurance and ask, hey, I'm gonna, particularly now with the pandemic, a lot of people are doing that. And I'm going to be moving and I'm renting a room, somebody else's home. What kind of information do you need from me? Like, do I need to list other people even though they're not drivers? I mean, just go and ask. It can't hurt. Be proactive. Don't wait until something bad happens.
Yeah, and I don't think it will raise. Yeah, I don't think it will raise, you're adding that they're non-drivers, but it's just the information that they want.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Anything else that you would like to add?
I don't
As
think
to maybe how, like, your practice in general, maybe consultations or...
Okay, so I think most people don't know, when it's a car accident, we take the case. So I'm a partner at Castillo & Falcone Law. So we take our cases, every PI case is on a contingency basis. That's every
attorney. I didn't know that. Okay.
Okay, so that would be any attorney you go to. It's on a contingency basis. What that means is that you come to our office for the consult, we sign you up, you do the contract, but you don't pay anything. You only pay our attorney's fees when we recover for you. So that's at settlement.
Okay. So that's important to know as well, because sometimes people are afraid to contact attorneys, particularly now with the pandemic and the economy the way it is. You know, they
Yes,
think I can't afford it, but so that's not the case with
with PIs.
personal injury. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, it's on a contingency. So you have to, there are no upfront costs, nothing. Everything is done by the firm. And then at the end, when you recover from the settlement check, we deduct attorney's fees and if there are any costs. Typical costs just are getting a crash report, getting medical records, because hospitals charge for those.
Right.
But that's pretty much just it.
Okay. And you want to leave your contact information?
Do I just say it
On
out
the
or
form, yeah, just go ahead and say, I'm going to post it below, wherever it goes, up in the video, below the video. I'll figure it
Okay.
out. But if you want to give your contact information.
Okay. So our firm is Castillo and Falcone Law. We're located in Weston. Our office number is 954-278-7158. So I speak Spanish, and then my business partner, Melissa Falcone, she is fluent in Spanish and also Portuguese.
Right, like me.
It assists, yes.
Well, my Spanish is rusty, but I speak English.
Yeah.
The clients know that, but this video is in English, so you're all gonna have to figure it out.
But if they understand a little and if they
Right.
need Portuguese, we could provide it.
Yeah, and I'll put a little translation below the video as well, and then I'll put the
Okay.
contact information and everything. And then that way, when somebody needs you, even if they have questions, not necessarily,
Yeah.
maybe, you know, they have any questions about what they should do about insurance, if they're getting a new car, what type of insurance they should get, or if they just need to speak to you in general, they can always give you a call. And
Yes,
go
we
from
can
there.
assist. Yes.
Right. Okay, well, thank you so much, Gabrielle. I really appreciate you spending a few minutes with me to clarify some of the things that are important in your area. And
Thank
I've
you for-
learned too, because I didn't know, so I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me on.
We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.